That preview was a bit deceptive.
Say how.
But so I just hit go because this is the style is we're not like worried about like, oh, we were all ready to go and everything.
Oh, I was gonna ask you etiquette.
Yeah, no, there's
Can I
none.
interrupt?
It's utterly without this is sloppy nonsense.
Hi, I'm Sloppy Nonsense.
We're the Sloppy Nonsense Show, and we'll be joining ourselves today for a little fun and games. Let's see here. Gonna make my mic good and hot. Lean into that mic. Give me some power. Power. That's power. Overwhelming. Shades have to come off in order for this to be successful.
They're good shades.
Namaste, my friends and community. This is the Unthink Me live stream. This is our third answering your comments because I'm tired of writing and I don't have time to write. This here is the same person as always, and this here is
Amy Thompson.
Amy Thompson.
Different person as always.
You can try and look that up, but she deliberately chose a common name so that you could not find her.
That's right. There's lots of us.
So what we generally do here is I'm going to go ahead and go on my phone. We're going to look up some comientos. I'm going to try and look at you while I'm looking at everything else, but I'm not going to fully succeed at that. And, we're just going to roll with the punches there. Now
what do I do with my hands? I crochet.
Anything you want. Yeah.
It solved that one.
What are you making there?
I'm making my best friend Adam a hat.
Oh, what a delight. I'll bet he'll love that. I'll bet he loves receiving gifts.
This is he.
I'll bet his ears get rather cold.
Mm-hmm. There's a color.
It's a beauty.
I kind of messed up, right?
It's a little flirpanor, but it's a beauty. Yeah. Alrighty, well let's just get rocking right on that old railroad here. We got a comment from at Ratfood 3875 in response to our which animal is okay to kill video. That's a hot discussion brought on by my elementary school teacher. If anyone who went to my school, well, yeah, we can ask you. It'll get heated. It's a. He
says it's heated, but I've not yet gotten hot.
It's barbarous.
I don't think so, but we'll see.
Well, maybe you don't give a shit about anything. What animal wouldn't you kill? What would you kill? A manatee?
Well, compared to what? Or compared?
Just would ya?
For fun, no, but for
food. So it has to have a purpose. Now we have an angle.
Purpose.
There has to be a reason why you're killing it.
Okay.
Not just to get off on it.
No.
Okay.
Or maybe get off on it.
Okay, so that's a purpose. Yeah, get it if you
purpose.
Well, there was that whole controversy of like women stepping on cats for sexual gratification.
I didn't know that one. That's gross, kinda.
Killing animals.
Also, that noise.
They like it. Oh, that noise or
no, that when you stamp on a cat, like.
I guess that's arousing to some people, and it might cause a little consternation to see that thing is proliferating. Okay. What about a turtle? Kill him? Would you slow down if you saw one crossing the road? Get to work a couple minutes later?
Okay, Adam and I have been best friends for a long time, and I have a picture from like 2001 of Adam pulling over on a very dangerous highway and running backwards like, what are you doing? This is 2-lane and everyone's going to Montana driving. This is scary. And I see him picking up a turtle and running across a scary highway where people die all the time, picking up the turtle and putting it back into the like wetland area.
Oh golly, that does sound.
And I click. And now I know what your answer is.
That sounds like good old
the turtle.
Green Meme Adam rescuing all the starfish from the ocean shore.
I also think it was like a joke at that time.
Candle. Yeah,
there were so many on, and you're like, it's too hard to not hit them.
And in Mississippi, we'd get these turtles that were like this big, snappers crossing the road. I didn't know they were snappers, and I saw one. He looked like he was like having a bad time crossing the road. I got out to give him a little kick in the rump, and he came around to bite me. Ooh. So I was like, all right, motherfucker. I was like going to take him out.
You going to kill that guy?
Yeah, but he got away. He got into the creek. But yeah, in Michigan, I don't care so much for the turtles. I'll give him a little kick in the pants.
Okay, so what's the comment here that?
Oh, well, so James and I got into it, and we talked about it. This person says the ones that are delicious emoji. And if you did watch the video, you'll know that's my least favorite argument, how tasty the animal is, because human babies taste delicious. And a moment of silence for human babies. Now I did all these short clips, and people are commenting on them, which is probably a good sign. Vardenis confusion is the best attack on memories, and it's also easy. So this is in response to like, why the heck are aliens trying to spook us out so much? Why don't they just come out friendly, and then we're not trying to run, and we're not interpreting the thing as a traumatic event? I had my speculation. Here we're suggesting that maybe if you want to access that human mind crank there, if you confuse them, if all the toy boxes are all spilled out all over the floor, it might be easier to find that little red beam light that goes on the back of your rocket ship. Valid theory. We love the theories. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be thumbing them. That's my policy. Yes, thumbing them.
Because you read it online?
Yeah, that's the deal.
Smart.
And if I heart it, that means I read it and often responded, but not always. Into the 12 stages, the extraordinarily strangely popular video, Some Caveman. Did you do that for me? Are you any old baby? I love it. Some Caveman, clearly in infrared. I too have an overinflated ego and no big words. So this is, again, I'm going to make a whole collection of these where when you get past the stage that you're at, the person who's talking just looks like a total narcissistic douchebag who uses big words. Big words we're using here, right? Huge vocabulary just to ivory tower you and scare you away. Even though the whole way up to stage 12, you will find people who will understand exactly what we're saying and will comment that, wow, you talk very simply and elegantly about this without using overly big words. Anyways, lots of perspectives out there, and we find ourselves on whatever level we're at. We look upward and we find a bunch of jargon and nonsense. I'm going to thumb that caveman up. I do love the name and I do love the comment. Flat Earth Theory and Amber Meme Knowledge comment. John Q. Public, also a great name. Do you want to do the reading? It's kind of silly for me to do them all, but you are knitting. And knitting.
If you'd like me to, I will, but
knitting.
I'm down for whatever. I think it'll make more sense for you to do it, but we can give it
let's
a
give
go.
it a
we
go.
Can go back and
let's
forth.
Hear what John Q. Public has to ask us.
John
and
Q.
Don't forget
Public
to thumb
7608 agreed that most people have no idea how to prove that the Earth is a sphere. But once you actually look into it, it's trivially easy to verify the spherical size and shape of the Earth.
Now, I wouldn't say trivial, because that was kind of my point, is like,
I wouldn't say trivially either.
Did this I wouldn't say trivial.
Sorry.
No, we love that. We love that. It is, what I was saying is, it's kind of tough. Like, I challenged my father to do this. I challenge people to do this often. Like, hey, I don't know what shape the world is. I'm looking around me and I'm seeing a flat looking world. And I'm just like, everyone says it's spherical. Somehow prove that to me. I don't have an airplane. I don't trust NASA, let's say. So how do you do it? And it is doable. It's not terribly hard, but it requires a bachelor's level understanding of the sciences and a little bit of skillful means.
Usually access to a Google and a cell phone.
Well, we don't trust those guys. I think is flat Earth. We're talking. But the point was, like, the flat Earth theory is like, yeah, haha, it's like the dumb nonsense. But like, challenge someone who's kind of more conventional. Like, be like, oh, prove to me in a court of law or in a scientific paper why you know the Earth is spherical. And my argument is, most people are most people would not be able to accomplish that. And this is why fake knowledge arises, because we don't actually know how we know things.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just taught to us in the school, and like stage one is just downloading that knowledge from Google or from your teachers and not really questioning it or knowing like the underlyingness of the theory. And then you walk forward with knowledge, but you don't really have the wisdom of being able, okay, Timmy, like, here's the sun over here. You got this thing spinning around, rotating, right?
You get that a lot when you have like a child, because everything is, yeah, but why? And then you say, I've never been dumber. I can't
your
tell
child
you.
has the Y scalpel on
All the
overload.
time.
It's like a saw scalpel.
Yeah, a lot of kids do it. I mean, geez, you hang out
Curiousness.
15 minutes with anybody. And
A big part of what we
happening.
accomplish in the school system is beating that out of people, that
Yeah.
genuine curiosity about why things are the way they are
Mhm.
and what's underlying the truths that we face.
True. Do you want to read the next one, or are we switching back and forth?
I like that. That was
Okay.
fun.
All right, so let's see.
Did you thumb it? Okay, you did.
Yeah, I think it's thumbed.
We got him, Lowen.
Okay, so then this next one here, the Ken Wilber Iceberg Explained, is the title. The commenter is Jonathan Doherty 5, and is a couple days ago. Thanks for sharing.
No problem.
Thumbs up.
Namaste, love you.
Oh, attitudes to magenta / magical animalism. Oh no.
You're all right. Altitudes, magical animism to magenta.
Animistic.
She hasn't gone through all the vocab. She did. You did spiral dynamics way back when, right?
Yeah, like when it was first, there's like 7 colors maybe.
Up to yellow, turquoise maybe.
Turquoise max.
Yeah. So most of our audience knows the spiral dynamics integral because they came here because they were becoming aware of Wilbur. When he was popular, that was the model. Nowadays, he does this thing called altitudes, and I say it's like Coke and Pepsi. Most of the colors are the same. A couple of them are different. I'm doing even a spin on that. I'm kind of naming things slightly differently, but it's all the same thing. It's basically the same thing. So this would be the purple meme in that model. And okay.
All right.
That's the
so
topic.
Okay. At only 1 year.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No audio. Never mind, audio is fine. Okay, thank you, Pamir. I do worry about that. I am a dumb dunce, and I don't know how to do any of this live streaming stuff.
Oh, hi, Pamir.
Yeah. I think the audio is okay.
Oh.
I'm seeing a little green there. I'm green with you.
Okay. Let's see. I don't know how to say this person's.
Well, that's what makes it fun. But I think it's Onia Bor 007.
It's so good. I love it, but my brain is broken.
My brain is
breaking. Okay, love these videos. So happy you made them.
Yeah. Oh. Great. Thank you. I like these short and sweet, simple ones.
That's great.
These are happening more and more, and it's easy.
He's got a real nice face.
Make it easy on us.
Or they, whoever.
He, she, it, or they. Yeah. Zims or.
Loving it. Okay. Is astral projection OBE real? Is the what are you calling these, titles or videos?
Well, that was a shorts that I did. So these are the title of the video.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. At Poyanjari 132. Less density reality is non-material. Materially not real, because material reality is densified, light, and sound.
Yeah. And so I'm making the argument with the astral projection, out-of-body experience, that the things that are happening there should not be thought to be physically real. Like I can get an electrical charge out of this. I can measure a density, a mass that it's taking place in a 3-dimensional space like this one. It's just on a whole other realm. It's taking place in that subtle realm. And so that's hot to say that. Like, in a lot of traditions, it's believed, no, this person left their body. They went and built a bridge, and that bridge is there. I'm saying I don't see that. And so this is a perspective that's bringing in some of the new agey kind of physics stuff, and we refer to densities. And actually, I don't want to say new age for that, because density is a fine metaphor. We use a spectrum of light, which is kind of similar to density. But this subtle would take place. Are they saying more dense or less dense? I don't actually know the density theory.
I read it weird.
But basically, this material gross realm, that it would be, I believe, a lower
less density reality is non-material. Materially not real, because material reality is densified, light, and sound.
So in the great chain, matter, body, mind, soul, spirit, you're going from the most dense to the least dense. I can try to smush a rock in my hand, and that's about as dense. Well, a diamond, even, let's say, it's about as dense as it gets. Light, not very dense. I can't even feel this. Consciousness, so not dense that it can't be measured with our dense instruments, our thermometers and our yardsticks, right? So I take my own words back. Density is okay. It's just not the analogy that I use for the Great Chain, for the spectrum. We use frequencies of light as a metaphor. Again, people will take that too literally, as in Hawkins scale, where we think that somehow this is measurable in nanometers of something vibrating in some medium not specified. Okay, that's what I had to say in response to that one. Now we have to unlock my phone again.
Sorry.
This is good though. We're having fun. It's like a picnic.
I like it. Okay,
flat Earth theory. We give them the thumb because we love it.
Totally. Flat Earth theory and Amber meme knowledge.
Good to see engagement on that. All right.
Morgan.
Oh, it's 313. It's our boy.
Hi, Morgan.
It's our person.
If you stand on a beach and watch a ship arrive, you don't see an entire ship at first. You see the masthead, and you gradually. Oh, thank you. And you gradually see the rest of the ship. You also gradually see the rest of the comment if you explode it for me. Thank you, Adam. You gradually see the rest of the ship as it's floating around a curve. That's why people have known Earth is round since the ancient Greeks.
Yeah. Now, that is one of the primary points of attack that the flat earthers use. I don't actually know what argument they make, but I think it has to do with haze, like oasis, like when you're looking out in the distance, like we're saying because the Earth is round, when you're looking at the flat ocean, supposedly, you see the top of the ship come up toward you, as opposed to the whole ship being tiny and getting bigger and bigger and bigger, as would occur. And that's just like the classic, like, if I don't have a spaceship, if I don't have a NASA, how do I know? I'm not a navigator. I haven't been around the world. How would I know? That's an excellent point. And in these flat Earth videos, you'll see them try and take that apart with their GoPros and stuff, and try to like get their buddy out there further and further in the ocean. Like, oh, he's not disappearing. You're not going far enough.
It's kind of a big Earth.
It's a big one.
So what happens when someone looks underwater?
Ooh.
Through? I mean, you can't.
You can't see that far. It's too murky and wavy.
It's a problem.
It's real tough.
Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to grind my bangs out, and I'm having a real hard time. So I need my sunglasses back.
Oh yeah, dude.
Their purpose.
I didn't even know those were yours. I thought they were someone else's. I just.
Sorry, I just gotta.
These are weight-bearing sunglasses.
Yeah. Oh, look at you people. You're so beautiful. I see everything.
We are seeing engagement on this little short clip when I briefly mentioned the flat Earth. I'd be more than happy to do like a whole solo video on flat Earth, because it is a fun topic. Anything like that, like alternative stuff. Like, I'm not a guy who goes too deep into those rabbit holes in my own like comprehension, but I do it for fun, and it's fun to apply integral to it.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So another comment about that is from @Julian9898. Is that really why flat Earth asterisks rises? I thought the whole point is that it doesn't. Face.
Flat Earth rises. Oh, is this because I think this might be, I'm just going to diarrhea out my mouth, but I think that the flat earthers are saying that the reason we're getting pulled downward with both gravity is because that thing's flying upward really fast. So it's like, that's like the on an elevator, it's pulling us down, because you have to explain why there is a such thing as down, why down exists, without saying that all matter attracts all other matter, which is a sort of strange thing, but that's kind of what we believe is why gravity works. All matter attracts all matter at a diminishing rate the further away you go. But if the flat Earth is stacked on an elephant, on a tiger, on a tortoise, on a turtle, they're just breeding and they're making more and more giant Earth-sized animals. Yeah, that thing's flying upward towards the dome that has all of the projectors making stars and planets above us. I think maybe all matter attracting all other matter is more elegant, but maybe that's not how reality is. Flat Earth, guys. we can't dig down to the elephant's back. It's going to cause injury. We just did a whole video on like, is the bigness of an animal relevant to whether it's okay to drill holes in its back? Anyways, it's silly stuff.
Who's drilling holes in the backs of big animals? Are you talking about like kills?
Well, if the flat Earth sits on the back of a great elephant, in order to discover that elephant, we'd have to injure it. Probably.
I definitely.
If Elon Musk is going clear down to Tiger's back, then we have to get into meat ethics.
Okay. Yes, that makes sense. All right. Let's see.
It looks like Morgan knows more than he's telling about how flat Earth works. Psychology of flat earthers, where they would be on the spiral. This seems to me very much Amber meme. If you watch flat Earth videos, there's always a segment in the ones that I've seen at the end where they explain that the reason why they must believe this is because it makes them special and the center of the universe, and that it confirms for them their belief in the divine and the afterlife. This is what I found in flat Earth theory.
That's all that it is?
That's all it's ever been.
Get a hug from your family.
For some reason, if there is a God,
for a compliment. It's okay to ask sometimes.
Yeah. If there is a God who created the universe and loves us, it must be that we're the center of everything. That, Genesis 1, literally. I still think that there could be a creator God that loves us, and we're just some random old little bit of dust floating out nowhere for no reason. In fact, that is that is my going theory.
That works. Of the all 12 stages of consciousness under 10 minutes video, at jheeb_ says you forgot to add the chapters between Amber and Teal to the video. Smiley face.
That is a problem. Between Amber and Teal. Okay. Boy, is there not orange and green in that? It's crazy how much engagement it's getting with that omission. I'm not sure what that means. It seems to be a gag that I'm not getting, and that makes me feel dumb. Between Amber and Teal.
So. What do you mean?
That may require a little bit more thought on my part.
Do we heart that one?
We'll thumb it.
We thumbed it?
We answered it. Well,
okay.
You got to be more clear, J hello _ because we got to add chapters. Maybe like in the bottom thing where those are auto assigned. I would like to know how to do that. I don't know how to do that yourself. I think it's automatically doing this. So I think they're saying there's no chapters.
Does anyone know how to do that?
Yeah.
If you do, please let us know.
Yeah. I've actually had a couple incidents where I don't know how to do that, and it's been a problem. So maybe I'll go ahead and do a little bit more research.
Okay. All right.
It's okay. They know Grandma Lynn's voice because
really?
I've used James and I use it. Yeah.
Oh, honey.
Honey. Put the mouse in here.
Let's see, you can enable auto chapters, but it doesn't always work.
I think that's what I'm doing on the particularly on those ones. And yeah, it seems like it's not catching. It seems like a really easy one to auto chapter because there is like a tangible change. But I don't know. I'm not an algorithm that automatically assigns chapters to things. I got to do that manually. And if people want that, I guess to navigate, I can put that in. I don't even know that people use those, so it looks like they do.
We didn't even know what a chapter was at
first.
We
didn't know what a
chapter was. What? Huh?
Yeah. I thought he meant the segment of video was missing. I'm like,
yeah,
that's a problem.
Whole colors, chapter colors. Oh, Morgan loves the chapters.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
Morgan made, I believe Morgan is the one who manually made chapters, and I was unable to use them because of this ignorance that I still have to this day.
Oh.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we put a little bit of effort into how we look.
This one did, dude. Check the fit.
And we put up what do you call it? A fit check on her TikTok.
Oh yeah.
So Unthink Me's on TikTok. I am a granddad and I don't know how to do it, but I'm now going YouTube.
I'm forcing him to learn the ways.
Yep. Yeah, a couple people are. So YouTube's now going to Shorts, is going to TikTok, is going to Instagram, just to maximize the teal meme out there in the world. That is the goal.
He's got a cool skirt on, cool socks
on. You guys want to?
Yeah, fit check.
Stand up.
Oh yeah.
Turn around. Yeah.
Yeah, so cute.
Perfectly legal and
And
really
the
nice
socks.
compression socks
Yep.
from a real cool bunch of kids.
I got the Stein shoes.
Man, those guys are doing the TikTok. Yeah, she didn't even
Can't
know.
see.
She didn't even know
Can't
she
see the
was steining
colors.
the fuck out with her. With her. Those are the exact right shades, though.
They're
It's
fine.
just in the ether. It's
Pretty cool.
lime and lilac.
Oh, we've lacked.
Yeah.
Yeah, add my face to your
wait,
phone.
oh, I'll
magic.
I'll give you the code next time.
Smart.
Or I'll put
I'll
your
have to
face
write
in
it
there.
down.
We'll just program your face in because you use that thing more than I do.
Oh, I'm sure. Anyone want to buy Adam a new phone? His is kind of crappy.
Oh yeah, that would help with the filming. Not
just so you know.
if y'all are buying me shit, we'll talk about that. My phone's okay.
It's an S10e. Anything is an upgrade.
Yeah, it is an S10e.
I'm just saying. Okay, stages of interpersonal conflict: mad face, spiral, spiral dynamics, and altitudes of consciousness.
Andy
89135. This video reminds me of the quote: "Never argue with an idiot. They will drag you down to their level and beat you with experience."
That is a quote.
I love that one. I
Who's
say it all
from?
the time.
Really? Who's that from?
Well, I don't know if it's a quote, but it's a saying for sure.
Yeah.
Never argue with stupidity.
Never argue with stupid person.
Yeah.
I argue with idiots all the time. But I don't, what's an idiot, guys? Come on, it's not name calling. What do you really mean by that? Are you talking stages? Are you talking states? Are you talking upbringing types? There's a lot of different kinds of idiots. I'm an idiot, and I think I'm really fun to argue with. No, I'm not literally a granddad. It's just that I didn't adopt certain technologies, particularly anything that exists in a little fake virtual avatar world in a mobile device. Those are, I'm very adopting of PC stuff and IoT stuff. I don't like being inside of a little tiny thing. Maybe if I had a better phone, I'd like it more.
Maybe, I don't know. He still thinks TikTok is for the youth, and I'm like, I promise. Look at all this gray hair. I do it sometimes.
You got a kid. You're trying to be trendy. I get it. And I'm trying too.
I mean, I'm trying to be entertained anytime ever.
Yeah.
So if it's good and it's, fast, I'm not above it.
I'm doing my best to be open to the TikTok thing, and it's just hard,
We'll get you.
It's and there is a lot of bubbly, vapid nonsense on there.
For sure.
Yeah.
You got to get your algorithm to where it knows you, and then you'll get tons of wildflower seed spreading videos, or you only want to know about stuff.
Yeah, when you have a goal, it seems to work better.
Yeah.
So have you seen the levels test that HoMath and some AI engineers? Oh, that's cool. Made. We have a Discord server for each level. It would be great to have you in there. I'm not familiar with the more concentrated intersection of people discussing integral theory. Well, that's the story. It's hard to get a discussion of integral theory. And they can tend to fall into certain kind of holes, pitfalls. Like it can go into this whole direction, and that's the whole nature of the thing. And a certain type of person dominates the conversation. We're trying to be Goonies, and it's a whole different, all sorts of different people, different levels of knowledge, exploring it together and having a kind of more ordinary discussion about it, talking more like ordinary people. My deal with Discord, I'm going to be straight with you guys. I unthink me as a Discord, and it's already eaten up all my content creation time. Just keeping up with that, I'm pretty diligent on it, is quite a time sink. And there's maybe 3 or 4 servers that I am kind of I'm a member of their server, but I don't really check them. I just barely have time to check my own. And I don't know. I'm not, just like with TikTok, I'm not spending a whole lot of time doing Discord. That's but I do encourage, people who are more engaged with that and do prioritize being on Discord, absolutely check out UnthinkMe, check out all these other Discord servers that are approaching integral theory in any way. They all have different strengths to offer, and just you'll take a look at the discussion, get engaged, and see if you meet the kinds of people that you're looking for.
I'm interested in seeing level tests, and I don't know what HoMath is.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, Homath.
sounds like
I'm in
it
communication.
sounds awesome.
Yeah, I'm
Not
in
gonna lie.
communication with Homath. Homath is doing a different thing. It's cool. It's interesting. That I've heard a lot of people say that Homath's video on levels is the best one out there. Maybe, probably,
But it's a
other than
test.
actual, integral. That those actual, like Ken Wilber himself. Really good content creator. Works really hard, and I have not seen the AI levels test. I'm not so fixated on pegging everyone at a level. I
Mhm.
think it's good if you understand the levels and your insight about these levels grows over time. I think there is this obsession, especially as you reach second tier and you understand that these exist. And I was there when I was hanging out with you 20 years ago. That was the kind of energy I was bringing to it. Is I don't like you, you're amber. I don't like you, you're orange. I only like teal. Bring the teal to me. I only want to talk to teal. It's just not realistic for the world that I live in the way that I engage with reality. We're all coming from different lines at different levels that fluctuate over time. And so, when you ask me like what stage I'm at, I don't know, somewhere around teal, somewhere around green, somewhere around turquoise. Definitely not much higher than that. Definitely not consistently much lower than that. And that answer is like good enough for my approach. I'm not, there's also a sort of role-playing game to it, an ARG, where, in our Discord, we're very much trying to max out our stats and like, nail everyone down. That's fun. But as a philosophical thing, I'm not trying to pigeonhole people or force them into buckets, because we're very complicated. And usually the line that you're going to identify as your level is the one that you focus on. It's going to be the one that you're highest on. And so it's like, I'm solid indigo, but like, what do you do during your time? How do you talk to people? Is that indigo? That's kind of what I'm looking at. Cognitive, trickling into your emotions and values, finally trickling into what you actually do when you engage with the world and do business to survive. That's my damn story.
I
buddy.
love a test. I'm like all up in that Cosmo. Like, what's your boyfriend's bedroom
Good
style?
Yeah, if we can get
That's fun. Why not?
if we can get Homath's level test in Cosmo, that's when the war is over. We've won.
We've won. Okay, let's see.
Mad props to Homath, though.
I'll be researching that later. Fake corporate meetings video. At five Scret.
Secret Star.
Awesome
avatar.
Yeah, it is really cool. Definitely see my bosses in meetings like that. Never see them stay around for more than a few years, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these things, I have had this experience of seeing like the goofiest of the goofiest in terms of the like fake jobs, corporate nonsense, conspiracy of mediocrity. And so that's what I'm commenting on. I'm commenting on the experience that I'm having. A lot of people, James will call me out. A lot of people call me out like, well, you're just kind of you're a hammer looking for nails. You have this anger about, your occupational situation. You're taking it out and you're trying to, witch hunt every fake worker that makes 12 times as much money as you make. I buy that. I think that's true. And I'm going to continue doing it because it's awesome and funny. I did notice that a lot of people spend their entire career at a certain point when you arrive at that level, that upper corporate level. They just sit there and look at each other's faces and talk about fishing and make 12 times as much money as me. That seems to me like an injustice, and it seems to be growing in our world. That's my perspective, and I love talking about it.
Yeah, it was funny. One of my friends commented one time, like, I make more money than I ever have, and I work less hard than I ever have.
Yes.
And I mean, I'm fortunate too to be gifted in that way, but I'm also like, is this the trick?
Yeah,
like, what's going on here?
If you have that responsibility, you're getting paid for being the dad of the company. You're being paid for having that responsibility, even if it doesn't require you to do anything. Mm-hmm. I certainly understand that. Mm-hmm. But, it's just my own, as a very, very conscientious person, if I were in a role like that, I would be looking for stuff to do if I were wasting my time.
No, you got time to lean, you got time to clean.
Yeah. Hopefully something higher level than cleaning, but it might be that. I might go and make the fridge not smell
Dude,
anymore.
my boss is not scared to go in the bathroom and scrub the
Yeah.
toilet.
There you go.
She to Ona.
You're in there swirling the toilet out. That's working.
She's pretty good. All right, let's see. Talking integral, answering comments to.
We're getting meta here.
I know.
Oh,
what's happening?
Talking about talking.
At Audrey E.
Oh,
MB.
That quote earlier was from Mark Twain. Thank you.
Oh, that checks out.
And there might be a link in the chat here to Homath's test. That's cool.
That'd be cool.
I think Homath has a Discord too, by the way.
Now, being someone who became a grandmother at 35, she was very Amber. What? I don't get it.
You're gonna be a grandmother pretty soon.
My daughter's a lesbian, and that might be a possibility, but she also scared of. She doesn't want kids really.
Ugh, yeah, me
so
neither.
she talks about it all the time.
There is let's see, I would say if you watch the first 5 minutes of Idiocracy, it's kind of one of the greatest things ever committed to film.
I do love that movie.
And it's kind of suggesting that the lower stages breed more and quicker.
Okay.
More and quicker, and then the higher levels or stages, I don't know so much. I think I want to figure out what I'm doing. I want to be able to care for someone.
I was just confused because I'm like, having a baby is your choice, but being a grandmother is not really your choice. And so maybe it's like that's the whole family's like thing, is like they're all just gonna put out babies.
Yeah,
maybe that's what that means.
Babies. Yeah. And I mean, if you just look at like the red and amber kind of family systems, they're these like very extensive. They rely on the youths to do work and care for the elderly, and it's essential to just crank those humans out, make more spread across the land.
Work.
Get them out there, send them to America to get a job, to send money back. Absolutely. And then you get here and you're like, wow, I'm in the orange green cultures, it's more like, I'm pretty self-sufficient, and actually my family's just kind of a bummer. I don't need more babies. That's painful. And my man left me because he's out there everywhere, and there's all these other people to have sex with and make babies. A very messy, complicated situation with the baby making. I dodged that bullet somehow. I was trying.
Life's not over, my friend.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. We're getting a question about super integral stages of a development. Could it be? Sorry, this light is really.
Yeah, we're getting this clear light up in here. There it is.
Okay. Question about super integral stages of development. Could it be that they deny all previous stages? Could it be that they deny all previous stages? You're probably familiar with the teachings of Jiddu Krishnamurti. Read more. Okay. Let's see. And his conversations. He rejects all teachings about the psyche, be it psychology or philosophy. Although consciousness that has passed the integral stage, it would seem, should have taken the truth from every perspective. At first glance, Krishnamurti is super integral. What do you think about such cases and him in particular?
Okay, this is one of those thoughtful, good questions.
You might need to read this a couple of times.
Andri A 1 megabyte.
Audrey, Audrey E.
Now, I'm just going to tell you my Krishnamurti impression. I adore Krishnamurti. He's hilarious and awesome and very genuine realization and very alternative, doing kind of his own thing. Where I would place that in the integral system, I think he's solid, healthy orange, and he has acquired the ability to access those higher state structures. So these are not the stages, indigo, violet, ultraviolet, clear light. These are state structures that can be accessed from any level. Just like if you take maybe the Jesus legend, this seemed to be a person existing in a red to amber, creating amber society and culture that was accessing the highest possible state structures. So that is a thing you can do. But he's not talking as though he were violet. He's not talking as though ultraviolet. He's talking as though he's orange. He's using logic, and it just like with Ayn Rand, it's pretty common for Orange to reject all philosophy, psychology. No, my logical system will sort it out without any help from anyone, Aristotle even. That's kind of where I place him, but he is a tricky fish to fry, and who knows over the course of his life and teachings how much he fluctuated and moved and how various lines may have gone up or down in that scale. But just to watch one of his talks, it feels tonally and the vocabulary feels very Orange Meme. It's very rooted in logic and dissecting problems mechanistically. And it doesn't seem to include that green meme cultural sensitivity as much. It seems to be aware of that, but kind of rejects it. And to say, you know, to place it at teal, integral, super integral, turquoise, and beyond, I don't think that he's talking from there. I don't think he's communicating from there. And I couldn't say whether he's behaving from there. The cognitive structures clearly exist. He's clearly cognizing up to perhaps clear light stage 10 or 11. So that's my take on Krishnamurti. I recommend his talks, his books. You get a lot of great quotes out of there and a great articulation of the higher spiritual realities, as you would with Alan Watts, for example, who's kind of more of a green meme representative of state structures of consciousness. Mm-hmm. But it seems to suggest a state stage confusion that we all have, that we're trying to sort out, you know. Mm-hmm. How does a state become a structure, and do you have to go through the second tier to get to the third tier? This is hot debate. My goal as sort of a teal representative is just to have people talking this language and aware of these things. I'm not trying to have a hard stance like it's impossible to be enlightened if you're not turquoise. That isn't what we find, so it's probably not true.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's see. Same video at Cultivar. I
think I know this one. Cultivar. Mm-hmm.
Cool. I love the way you interpret Wilber's model. So fluid and well-rounded and deeply digested. Which of his books present his own model in a way that aligns with your style of interpreting it? How many books? And it's been a bit hard to narrow down my selection. Oh, he has so many. Sorry. Yeah. He has so many books, and it's been a bit hard to narrow down his selection. Thank you, heart emoji.
That is a really tough question. It's a question that I get a lot. I do recommend Ken Wilber's books, and it's kind of hard to pick a point. What I'm coming from is today Wilber. It's Wilber 5, as you would call it. It's what he's talking about in his videos now. It includes altitudes and the AQUAL, or what I call AQUAL model. And it's including these terms like growing up, waking up, showing up, cleaning up for shadow work. It's just a vocabulary change, though. Wilber 1 is represented in spectrum of consciousness and no boundary. Those are great starting points. It's sort of to assume that you're at that green meme stage and you're trying to get into spirituality. The Wilber 2 stuff tries to undo some of the romanticism of the idea that enlightenment is a going back or a return to a more primitive state as opposed to a growing up to a higher stage. So this is where you see books like The Atman Project and Up from Eden is like a title that very much represents that. I think that the Wilber 3 system was where he starts bringing in spiral dynamics, and these are the most popular, I would say, the Brief History of Everything, Theory of Everything. Now I get a little confused here, but I think Wilber 4 brings in the sex, ecology, spirituality, and the quadrants model and holons and all that, where it gets really nuts and bolts about the entire structure of reality itself and the physical universe. And I think that this Wilber 5 thing is the AQUAL map, the AQUAL model, trying to make it elegant and clean and simple. But as much as he calls these revisions or updates, they're really not that different. And there's a lot to get from all of them. So if I had to recommend one, I would say it strongly depends on what field you're coming from and what your level of interest is, whether that's social sciences, psychology, personal development, enlightenment, and look for the title that reflects that the most. Brief History of Everything and Theory of Everything are always great starting points. I got a lot out of No Boundary and Up from Eden. No Boundary for the personal, Up from Eden for the social. But you just can't, just crack one open. You can't get enough of it. try as many as you possibly can stomach. If you're more into the kind of like lived altitudes, the feeling them in your consciousness and understanding them, try integral like meditation, integral spirituality. And this is more for people who are more focused on developing their own consciousness and waking up. Lots of books. And like integral psychology, for example, is going to appeal mostly to people who are studying psychology.
And a lot of them are available audiobook style. So
yeah,
for me who doesn't want to sit and
well, a lot of us don't read books anymore. I'm kind of over reading books. I pretty much only read when I'm pooping. I'm working on Jung right now.
Oh yeah.
So the more Chipotle I eat, the more I'm going to understand Jung.
Chipoo. All right, gotta unlock this.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Okay. We've got all 12 stages of consciousness _ 10 minutes. At Morgan 313 says, I'm not sure of the context in which at Lobo Pal made their comment about indigo. My experience at Indigo is that everyone wants to tell me what's wrong with me and how I should fit into their paradigms, while I am happiest alone processing this life-altering transition to the third tier.
That is just interfacing with first tier ever. That everywhere you go, you're going to find first tier in the 99.9%, or that's a conservative estimate. Wilbur puts it at like 90 or something, which I think is kind of nuts. It just depends on who you surround yourself with. But when you encounter first tier, the whole point is they have a paradigm. They want to convert you to it. They're trying to grow you up to a lower stage. At the Indigo, we're experiencing ego awareness. We're fully aware of our limitations. And when people say these little cutting things or these slights against us, we really feel it. We really take in their perspective and allow it. It's almost this it's like no boundary. You're kind of defenseless against other people's perspective. You don't have those walls up. It's harsh, and it requires a particular kind of sensitivity and a particular kind of toughness. It's a very difficult balance, and that's why nobody's at Indigo. It's so rare to be accessing states regularly, transcendental states, nature mysticism, oneness with the environment, dream work. These sorts of things are very uncommon because we have the shell, we have the first tier shell around us, or our own mental prisons that we apply to reality all the time.
I like that this person was able to say, I'm happiest alone. I'm just happy. I know what's right for me. That's good.
Absolutely. Abundance really mentality.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so 1 minute integral cosmic evolution, #shorts. Gimoto says teleology. Is that right? Teleology.
Oof. I did say that word.
Question mark.
And I did say intelligent design in that too. I was trying to talk really, really fast, like Micro Machines.
Can you do the whole Micro Machines thing?
No, Micro Machines, the little tiny cars that you can push around with your little fingers, and you're a little kid and you want to have Micro Machines. You can bring the Micro Machines over to your friend's house, and they're going to play with Micro Machines with you. One, and do I hear 20, and $1, 65?
Yeah.
That sort of
you can. The answer is yes. Teleology question. Why not have things as they are? What if it's all or what if it's all for fun? Isn't this just for fun?
Well, if it's just for fun, that is teleology. It's to suggest that the development of the universe has some sort of purpose, not a human ego purpose, but what the argument I was trying to make in under 1 minute is that the universe, as I see it, seems to be climbing from, just on this planet here, we had dirt, and somehow that dirt came to life, and somehow that life came to know itself. And now it's Taylor Swift singing and dancing. That's how the universe works. That's what planets do. The word teleology is kind of a good description of that. I think the angle that this commenter is coming from is that that's all just stuff falling. Yeah, absolutely. That is what stuff falling does. And I'm just saying, isn't it curious that when matter attracts matter and the universe happens, it starts to become self-aware, it starts to communicate, and it starts to explore itself. That's a strange fact about stuff falling. without any other context to compare it to. The only thing that exists seems to have this character of becoming more and more conscious, more awake, more loving. It's a strange built-in feature, not a bug, of the reality that we're experiencing. And the word teleology seems to imply that. And this is a very rejected word. It's not met with friendliness very often in philosophy and social sciences. It's associated with the idea that God has a plan, that God is a human ego, that God is a white man with a beard that stands somewhere far off and punishes you for being bad. That's Amber Meme. But teleology is just to kind of suggest that maybe there is a plan that has to do with physical reality and consciousness that is, we're trying to wake up. Boosh.
Boosh.
Amy has no idea when I'm done talking. Like,
guilty.
I just look at you. I just look at you.
Oh, okay. Me go now. My turn. Read out loud like the class.
This is awesome.
Okay,
this makes it a lot easier. Last time I got nervous. I was like nervous. Like, what the hell?
Well, reading is difficult. I feel like I'm in 5th grade and I have to read out loud, but
it's tiny.
Luckily, I don't really care.
On my little S10. Yeah. And we're using these crazy it's nonsense.
Like, I mean, it's so small. Like
it's so small.
It's so small. Okay, should have grabbed my phone though, leaving all behind video at Jazz Griot. Zoot Suit Riot.
Clio.
Griot?
I've seen Jazz Clio before. I don't know what that word means, but I'll look it up. I'm trying to do French and Spanish right now.
You sure are. Travel is one of the best forms of education. Everyone should explore the country they live in and as many other countries as possible. Just to meet as broad of a range of people as possible and to talk to them. Nothing like a taxing road trip to make you appreciate the simple comforts of life and you always meet the colorful local characters along the way.
Now,
excuse me.
I think I did respond to this in my last one, and I think YouTube, why are you so silly? So that one we did talk about, and the other one. Okay, cool.
I love this one though. I didn't respond to it.
You responded. I
fucking love this.
So in this video, I explained how I drove over with all my crap in my car and all the foibles and bleeding everywhere and being cold and my bike falling all over.
Is he here yet? Well, no, I don't know. I'll just stalk him until I find him.
Yeah, you were on the other side of that. So what do you say about traveling?
I love it. I think it's so important for your brain. Your brain. And I think it's really hardcore that we don't recognize as a society that it's so good to do that. And I think it's like, oh, you get your 1 or 2 travel in a year, you go to one place or another, but it's become like this thing for the wealthy. And I, you don't really get, if you have somebody that doesn't have a lot of money, they're not fucking going on vacation, and they're forced to have these minuscule little treats like smoking or alcohol or whatever it is. And, that is their way of coping, but not, it's hard that, it's hard for me to believe that this is something that we as a society don't just say like, there's a travel fund, like this is where you go, these are the things that you experience. I mean, every time I get back from a different place, I'm like a 20% better person, like measurably, like.
I noticed that too. It's like squeegee in your third eye, and it's stepping out of the context that you've been trapped in, like the gerbil tubes that you've been running through. I'll just go a different route sometimes just to see more.
Time moves totally. Well, they just did this podcast on. Sorry, I listened to them a lot. On I think it was it NPR, where this girl was trying to make time move slower, and it was because the way that she did that was she approached some scientists and they said, well, every time you do something new, time is more memorable and it measures slower to you. So she did a full week, 7 days of doing absolutely things different every time. Like she had to sleep in a different bed every night. She had to take different routes. She had to eat different foods, which is incredibly different. How do you feed yourself in something you haven't eaten before? Luckily she's in New York, so there's that.
I think this might be like a Terence McKenna idea, like novelty being like a stimulator for your neuro. What's the word?
Neural pathways or
neuroelasticity or something.
Yeah.
Whatever
Neuroplasticity.
microdosing does. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think novelty, new situations. You've been camping a bit. That's kind of
Mhm.
like that, just being
Going
in a
today,
different
just
context.
going somewhere else. But yeah, the end result was that it was really difficult for her to she was like, that was the longest week of my life, and I don't know if
Oh.
I actually liked but sorry, spoiler, I'm not sure if I liked it. The challenge of it was mentally taxing, and scientists, there's other ways to do this, but she was like, maybe we are supposed to kind of get into a rhythm, because like as I get older, I think, holy cow, like my kid's so old, like my life is so fast, like January's nearly over, bud.
Life moves pretty fast.
Yeah, it's crazy. And
Ferris Bueller.
And so I love this
slow
comment.
down every now and then, you're gonna miss it.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't do isms. No.
That's all right. Mark Twain does.
Now, I might at some point go through my like Europe backpacking journal as an exercise, because that's fun. And how it completely recontextualizes, your own situation to be completely dislodged from it and have to do other situations.
Mhm.
Now, do you got a travel bucket list kind of thing? Do you have a place you want to go?
For sure. I mean, a lot of it is like cost prohibitive for me, but and also
saying maybe attainable.
Yeah.
Maybe not attainable.
Yeah, I mean, I have been personally scared to dream about where I can go, because I don't want to put too much like money in my future bank and thinking like, oh, if I could just get there, I'll be happier, But
well, okay, let's say in budget.
Like,
let's say in budget. What do you want to do? You want to see the U.S.?
I'm like one of those weird people that like I have not exhausted the U.S. and everywhere, even when you go to like from Missoula, which is like mountainy, good skiing, all that. If you go from here to Salmon, Idaho, which is only 3 hours away, it's a high mountain desert, and you get tumbleweeds and still snow and stuff, but it's like totally desert. And so I feel like we have so much different terrain that we can actually explore and still get that newness that I haven't thoroughly exhausted just the US trips yet, and just, weirdness here. I would obviously love to go to, anywhere someone would take me, I would go. But
for a minute there, we were going to take half of our Discord down to Billy Bob's in Texas and help a friend meet a girl at a country bar.
Cool.
Yeah,
what fun.
Because they were being shadow banned by femininity in general. That was the thread. That may still happen. I don't know. I haven't toured the American South.
Cool.
What about big budget? What about you inherit $27 zillion? Where are you going now?
Oh, we're all going everywhere all the time.
You're going Mars?
No,
not quite.
No, I don't care
not
about
necessary.
That. No, not really.
Want to do some Asia?
I would say Australia probably, and like New Zealand probably a little bit.
Outdoorsy.
Yeah, for sure. Cities are cool. I'm down with the city, but as far as my brother's wife is from Thailand, and so he always has a good time going back there when he's able to.
What's your genetic heritage? If you don't mind me being racist.
White. Oh no,
I'm white. I'm from white.
If you can see the freckles and super Irish.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest
English.
That. Well, do you want to go to Ireland?
Lisa, a coworker of ours, has gone to Ireland and Scotland recently, and she's done some of that. She did a Sweden trip.
Beautiful.
And so the more people that go places and show it, I'm like, yeah, I'd go. I'd literally go anywhere. We're going to Dallas Fort Worth Airport for
I like the way the trees look. If you guys saw Dallas, the intro, that would come on after my Darkwing Duck and stuff. Dun 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 dun. And then the trees are like these they're like the trees that children draw, where it's just like a green cloud with a brown stem coming out. The second you see Dallas, and it's like, oh, there they are. There's those trees.
I am
Even the
Googling.
airport.
We're going to Dallas to see a graduation right before June, so I'm excited to go there.
Yeah, I
and
think
that's going to be exciting.
I need to
I'm
learn how
not
to
excited.
navigate my comments better, because when I switched from it giving me the comments in regular YouTube to the studio, I suddenly had like 1/10 of them. And I commented in my last stream too. I don't know if that means I've just become less popular or if I'm not navigating them correctly. There's no wrong answers. I
You
just
got to be like a tech genius now.
yeah, right. There's
Oh.
so much to learn about the front end of this nonsense.
We have to know how to read comments,
ever
and
changing.
mark chapters. Okay.
Wow, we've been doing this an hour. Do you got to get out of here?
What time is it?
2:16.
Time is a construct. Oh no, I'm good.
You're good.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think we've kind of run out of questions and we're just kind of jamming. But it's the idea of novelty and what effect it can have on you being exposed to other cultures. I've said this a few times too. Like, I crossed the border into Mexico, and I guess this surprised me for some reason, but it was 100% Mexico. It looked the way Mexico looks.
It's not like when you go into Canada where you're just like, oh, it's cleaner.
Who spoke Spanish and the Mexican tiendas and kids selling you chiclets and cacti and lizards. And like, this is so actually Mexico.
Wow.
I bet people feel that way when they go into like Chicago or New York.
Probably.
Like, this is so America. I didn't think they were serious about that.
So I didn't ask you, do you have a list, or are you just like, do you have like a budget? What's your budget list? What's your big list?
I'm kind of like you, where it's like, it's got to be a work trip. I'm going to Portland next month to hunt for ghosts.
Yes.
And bowl and things like that.
You have no idea. Our coworker she's such a badass. She's like one of the coolest, fittest, strongest 60-some-year-old person that I've ever met. And she runs circles around me at work. She's awesome. But she was so envious when she heard of your trip. She was like, that's all I want to do.
Yeah.
But she goes a lot of places, like Sweden and all that. And she's like, oh, what a good idea. So we're really excited to hear
I'll explain how that crap worked 20 years ago. Touching down, like Dallas, touching down in England. It's the Shire. It's hobbits everywhere. The roads are all curvy. It's beautiful nature. There's little churches. There's 1,000-year-old castle bricks everywhere. It's so England. It's just ridiculous how much a place actually is what it is. And you know, I walk down the streets of America and I'm like hearing, you know, like the America thing. I'm walking down the streets in Switzerland. I'm hearing, I'm like, what? I'm hearing classical music because that's what my brain makes when it's seeing Switzerland everywhere. You know, it's so ridiculous, but it's like you really taste that whole the whole thing, the whole like aqual affair of a place, and it kind of gets in your blood and under your bones, and you start talking with the accent and everything. If you're an adaptable being, it subsumes you.
Yeah.
I really want to do I would love to go to a music tour in Japan.
Ooh,
or all like Eastern Asia. I'm a little afraid of communists, just because of the way the world is right now. I would love to see Israel, and again, terrified of that. Don't want to do that right now, but that's a beautiful place with a lot of great history. I'm worried about my body's resistance to being in many parts of Africa, but I think Africa would be so cool. Like anywhere. I know it's like the biggest continent, but like I was like, I want to go to Africa, but yeah, like anywhere in that mofo. Maybe kind of middle to south, you know, conflict-free zone where I wouldn't necessarily get malaria. Maybe as an economist, they could find something for me to do there.
Could be.
The South America, a lot of people do that from America. They go down there, they want to practice their Spanish and see those sites. I don't have the bug for that one as much. I'm not really sure why that is. Islandies. I haven't gone into too many islandy places. Like Hawaii seems pretty realistic.
My cousins are from the Marshall Islands, and they speak Marshallese.
Those are just out in the middle of the ocean, right?
And she's like, oh yeah, 2 inches of water rising will just make them go away. Like they're very like it's a climate
gone.
problem right now. And so, but it's really, I was like, holy cow, like I had to look at where this is and what it is. I just met them for the first time in my life, because they live on the East Coast, and we didn't try to meet each other before, but they're my only cousins, and it was kind of exciting because they are awesome. And so hearing about Marshall Islands, I want to go there now. Like I just want to go everywhere.
On my little dating apps, I'm in a new town. I'm trying to meet people. I see a lot of people say this thing. I want to explore. I want to touch every continent. I'm like, well, that's kind of like a ticking boxes thing. Like, do we really want to go to Antarctica? Like, maybe later. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff buried in Antarctica. I think there was quite a
hot hair dryer.
I think we're gonna find I think we're gonna find crazy skeletons and crazy earth sciencey stuff in Antarctica once we kind of figure out how to do that a little better. But like actually going there, it's like not habitable.
Dude, there's so many places right here that are not like that we could dig up and look at. You know,
yeah, like Oak right Island. Over there. I don't know. Oak Island. Well, they're working on that, right?
I think so.
I'm watching the treasure hunters with my dad.
They're
using that pile driver there, and they're not doing it right.
Carmen Legg's my favorite. He's a blacksmith, and yep, I get that.
So we
wanted to comment about.
Okay.
Hey.
They show up. Yeah, the same people comment and show up in the live streams. Cool. One day I'll start warning the Discord ahead of time, and some of those guys might show up. But
you get lucky.
I'm still a little gun shy about live streaming and worried that my audio is going to screw up or the lighting's going to be nuts or whatever. And so I'm afraid of having too much chat. I like that only like 4 people show up. Yeah, there's an Unthink Me Discord. It's not discoverable, but I used to put a lot of invites in my comment responses. I don't know how I would be more than happy to send a link out. I could probably do that right after I conclude. I could kind of maybe throw that in the chat. Yeah, I could probably do that right now. Let's see if this breaks everything.
Come on.
But yeah, it's there's a lot of really fun and interesting people in there, like just things I never would have predicted would occur. And I, I had never been, the only thing I'd done with Discord prior to this was learning a little bit of French and doing some AI stuff. And I tried to find people who were into integral theory, and back then I didn't have any luck with that, which suggests that people are actually getting more interested in this. So this is just one of many. Unthink Me doesn't only do integral theory, but so far we pretty much only do integral theory. So it's an integral theory server. I think that invite is good. And yeah, jump in there, check out the channels. And we don't schedule live discussions much. I did it for a while, and the attendance was spotty, and I didn't manage it very well. I didn't prepare very well, and so it was just kind of like it was good talks, but I found that people are having more of a good time just meeting there and then getting into private messages and doing like voice and video stuff with each other, which I don't see what happens, but I'm aware that it is occurring, and it's it seems to be fulfilling for people. I'm down to do those community discussions. My current role is I just pretty much read everything, and I'll throw a word in edgewise as much as I can. And to be honest, I was kind of trying to mill content, trying to get people to do podcasting and discussions with me, because the things that are occurring in there are at least as interesting as the content on my channel. So I was like, okay, could this be turned into content? And what I'm finding is that me and James and Amy seem to have this superpower that it happens in real life. It occurs, that's the target. And a lot of those, I think that I wasn't really hip to the idea that like most people aren't like that. They haven't done this a bunch. They're not used to like having their face in public. So they want to do a lot of preparation, and they kind of chicken out, you know, when it's actually time to do it. And that just gets frustrating because I only have so much time to create content. And so I kind of quit trying to do that. I quit trying to rope in the Discord into my channel. I stopped trying to rope in my friends, and it's just sort of an open invite. Like, let's do a podcast. I don't want to plan it forever. I don't want to prepare forever. But like, if you feel ready to go and you don't mind just whipping on a webcam and you have interesting things to say and you want to discuss with me or anyone else, you know, from Unthink Me, let's rock. I'm all about it. But least squares approach to everything. I'm speed running life, and I have been for a long time. I path of least resistance. I'm being like the water. I'm just trying to make content that's good as quick as I can to the best of my ability without selling out to the corporations. Thanks a lot. I recently got interested in the integral theory, and your videos are really helpful. I love that there's a server. Yeah, I love to provide it. I didn't really know about Discord, but I was just like looking into how you do YouTube, and it was like, well, did you think about starting a Discord? And if it gets to a certain size, I can like make it discoverable so that people can just find it. But I think it's like 1,000 people is the limit, and I think I'm at like 250 or something. So it'll probably never get there, and it's probably better that it doesn't ever get there, because the community on it now is really supportive and really diverse, like crazy diverse. You got representatives of all 12 stages. You have people that are obsessed with states of consciousness. You have people at indigo, turquoise, teal, just kind of like talking and exploring. You have people from different religions, people from different countries. There's people who are mad that were never available to talk during their daytime because they're over there across the pond. You know, lots of diversity, and just as far as the smaller community that has formed over like the last year, I just can't believe how much support and love is being given to me and my brand, and also each other. Just this is legitimizing second tier abundance mentality and openness to other perspectives. We're talking about, you know, comments on YouTube and Discord. This is where trolling is born, and yet the trolling is so little. And even when there is trolling, it's coming from a genuine place of wanting to comprehend and wanting to express spiritual realities. And I'm floored by it. I can't believe it. You know, in 20 years of creating content of various sorts and not really ever doing anything that gets any sort of engagement or response, the weirdest, most unlikely thing I could possibly do, making a video about Ken Wilber shit, is like the thing that's working. I'll take it. Let's rock. This is fucking phenomenal. So thank you all, and namaste to you. And I think that might be a well, time to hit that old dirty trail. What do you think?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's go.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Much love.
Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, you anytime.
That was fun. I'd do that.
Heck yeah.